There he is. Right. Nick, feel free to start the questions or whatever you want to do. People are kind of trickling in here, so you don't have to go too hard on the actual questions yet, but maybe just some conversation starters to wake everyone up. And,
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. I didn't even know it was working yet.
so it's all good. Maybe just some icebreaker games, things like that.
Heard. Um, yeah, how's everyone doing today? I guess we can start with that. Good.
Feeling pretty good post surgery.
Yeah, that's right. You just had surgery.
I did. So a little over a week ago, but face is still a little bit crooked. That'll take about 3 months to cure. Hearing still affected, still some swelling. But my plan tomorrow is to do the Arnold Fitness test on the app for the max lift for all the three big lifts and just kind of test out where I'm at for all that. And then jump right back into the app workout starting next Monday.
I mean, half Thor deadlifted over 1,100 pounds with a crooked face, so
There you go. If you can do it, I can do it. I got you. I'll do 1,200.
there you go. I like your attitude.
But yeah, it's all good. I feel pretty good. I wish I could hear. My face is straight, but it's all good. And I'm back on the mend. Back to it faster than I thought. I was thinking I might be out of the gym for a couple months, and it's only been a couple weeks, so not too
Okay.
big of a deal.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything monumental, important surgeries?
Well, it looked like John had done his one rep maxes last night, John. You can't just put that in the chat and not talk about the numbers that you hit or
Yeah,
anything like
yeah,
that.
John, tell us about it. We want to know.
Well, the good news is I did the straight bar deadlift 350,
Okay.
and I did squat 335, and then my bench I was really disappointed. I failed at 265 and 245 and ended up just 225.
Okay.
So 10 pounds away from 1,000 pound club, or 90 pounds away from 1,000 pound club.
Well rounded, which is a really good thing. I honestly, I would have to see what those attempts look like because what a lot of people don't realize is when you test, there's a method to the madness, right? There's something to be said. I'm going through it now with Ketch and a couple of his buddies that are testing my program. Is we had some people test and do really, really well, and some people, everyone PR'd, but they didn't get that 102, 104% that they were really hoping to get. And you got to learn how to test. Testing PRs is a skill set. There's right and wrong ways to do it. There's some people have systems that works for them. I do it in a manner where people, I like to prime your central nervous system. So Ketch was looking at the percentages I gave him, and he's like 2 at 80% seems really taxing. And I was like, pull 2 at 80% and then watch how 90% moves. He pulled 2 at 80% and flew on a 90% pull. And at that point, that extra rep at 80% is not as taxing as you think it would be. But we need to get you primed for that high effort heavy pull. So 1 rep at 80% is pretty easy after you've had a deload. 2 reps is still easy, but it'll give you that extra neural work per se. So when you make that 10% jump up to 90, it doesn't feel as big. So when it comes to testing, your jumps shouldn't get necessarily bigger as you go. I always tell people they've never tested PR. Do your first, like you said, you tested it. You successfully got 225. What was your lead up to that? What was your weight selections out of curiosity?
I did 5 at well, I did like the warm-up sets where I did like 3 sets of bench press, push-ups, body weight. And then I did 5 at 135, 3 at 155, 1 at 185, and I was following the app. And then it was like, "Oh, do you want to try your max?" And I said, "Okay." And I jumped all the way from 185 to 265. And
Whoa, yeah, that's
yeah, I
pretty
know.
tough.
In retrospect, I think I just fried myself because even when I dropped to 245,
That's almost
I
a
could,
100-pound jump on an upper body movement. Like,
yeah.
even for me, who I don't even know what my bench press is. I haven't tested it in years. Even if I jump from 100 pounds to 200 pounds, I'm like, whoa, like I should have done a little more work in between here. So you basically just shocked your nervous system. Um, so let's not do that. Uh, like if you went 185 to 2, like if you'd have went, say, because sometimes you can mathematically project where you're going to be at based on rep ranges, effort, things like that. So if you, how would you say 225 felt movement wise? Did it feel like it moved fairly fast? Did you struggle?
No, it moved really. Once I came down again, it moved like butter. And I've done that for reps before, so that's why I thought, oh, I could
Yeah.
jump right over it. And
Okay, so honestly, if you'd have done, say, that 5 at 135, fine, and then done like 3 at 165, and then 3 at like 200, and then or a double at 200, and then a single at 225, and a single at 245, and a single at 265, you'd have probably had a much different result because we hit, your bigger jumps in the beginning when it was still a very light effort, and then our jumps got smaller and then stabilized. So it gives our nervous system an opportunity to get used to the weight. One trick I do for people, it's called super max loading. So say you are going into uncharted water. Say you're going from 225, 245, and you're worried about how it'll feel in hand. So you hit your 225 rep. So you'll load an extra 50 pounds on the outside of the collars, and you won't unrack it. You'll just pick it up out of the rack and hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, and then set it down. Get up, take the 25 off each side, and then hit your rep. And what that does is that primes your central nervous system. So that part of the nervous system, how that functions for us on a day to day, is the difference in when we pick up, say, like a cup of coffee and a 45-pound plate. Why don't we pick up a cup of coffee with the same force we pick up a 45-pound plate? Because we'd smash that cup of coffee into our face. That's your central nervous system working. But if you pick up that cup of coffee and go right to that 45-pound weight, you're like, oh, whoa, your nervous system can tell the drastic difference. But if you pick up that cup of coffee, then you pick up a 5-pound plate, then a 10-pound plate, then a 25-pound plate, then a 45-pound plate, watch how much more prepared your body is for that load. It'll recruit more, everything's awake, and it'll feel easier.
Okay.
Neural work. I'm a big fan of it because it works. You got to remember, a lot of times learning to PR and learning lifting, we're teaching motor skills. There's a big chunk of that early lifting where we're learning a motor skill pattern, so our progress goes for like the first 2 years. And then after that, our progress slows, or people think they're plateauing. Well, no, you've learned the motor skill. Now you've got to focus on the strength. Then the grind starts. Then your PRs go from 40 and 30 pounds to 20 pounds to 10 pounds to 15 pounds to 5 pounds. In that 5 to 15 pound range is where your PRs will typically start. You'll see they'll reduce because now you're fighting strength. You're no longer optimizing motor skill. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And thanks for the good info. So I've got 90 days on the maximize your strength program. I'll try it again.
Yeah, so being that 225 moved easy, let's do your workups and your weight selections. If you're doing like any sort of percentage math or anything, do it off like 245.
Okay.
Give yourself because like you said, 225 is easy. Give yourself that kind of cushion of what's probable, because likely you'll bench press 245. And then kind of work off of that for your progress of this 90 days, and then give yourself a chance when you test. Cool. Are we ready to get into Q&As? I think so. All right, so we can start the Q&As. Does anybody have any immediate questions, concerns? Hit me with them.
Yeah, I have a question, if I can.
Sure.
If you see it in the camera, when I do bench press, it was 5 minutes ago, I always grab the bar and then the bones are stable here, yeah? And when I push them off the bar tender, then it makes like this. It tastes
It
little
turns.
like this. You know, is it right, or should I grab the bar a little bit more?
Are we talking about a
less wide?
barbell or a dumbbell?
Barbell.
It should be kind of like, you may have it too far back in the hand if it's unstable there. You want it kind of in this line because it's directly over my forearm. You want it over the forearm so you can't do this, or wrap your wrists is another real thing. And I went over on how to wrap your wrists in a recent Zoom meeting because a lot of people just don't do it correctly. It's higher than you think. It's actually like around the base of your palm. But if you're having an instability issue, we actually corrected this with Noah. I think it was too far back in his hand, so it's actually past the point of where the power transfer happens, which would be over this forearm. So kind of focus on getting that bar right behind your thumb and not so much where you develop calluses. You want to get it here and then crush it so it's right over that forearm. That could help you out a little bit. Just simple bar placement in your hand.
Okay, I will try it. Thank you.
Yeah, if when in doubt, just record it and we can go over this like next week.
Yeah.
Give me like a nice like straight on, close enough so I can see your grip. And then kind of from a 45 so I can kind of see your wrist angle from the side, and we can see exactly, I can get a little bit more information on how you're moving.
I can do it live.
Okay. I'm down.
Should I?
Yeah, do you want to do it right now?
Okay. One moment.
It's a nice rack. It's the only time you're allowed to compliment someone's rack and it's not creepy.
I didn't say it. I didn't want to go there.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, ha ha ha.
How does that feel? That looks good. How'd that feel?
I turned the micro off. Sorry. Yeah, it feels good. It's okay for me, but
that felt better.
yeah, it's okay. It's good.
Yeah, let's run with that. Get some videos, get some reps under it, and then we'll see how it feels, you know, after you've got some reps under the belt with that grip, and go from there.
Okay.
Cool.
I will do it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Amelie, talk to me.
Hi. I wondered, I asked it on the pump club, but since I'm here, I wonder when I do barbell close grip, it's the muscle here that's involved. It's not the chest.
Close
Bench
grip.
press,
This.
close grip barbell.
Close grip is mainly tricep and chest.
Okay, so I don't
Yes.
do it correctly.
Are we talking about overhead or bench press?
bench press.
Yeah, so close grip gets more tricep engagement because it acts more of as an extension plane versus a press plane. So you should still have the same bench form when you pack your lats and everything and get tight in your upper back, but we're pressing in a much closer plane. So instead of being spread out and getting our chest and lat engagement like it normally would, our triceps have to do much more work. So really, where close grip bench press really carries over is to your lockout power on a conventional bench press. So after you get about halfway up, having a nice strong tricep is what the close grip typically helps with.
Oh, okay. Okay. And the axe of the bar is the same that the bench
Yeah,
press,
your bar
the
path and
classic bench
everything's
press?
pretty much the same.
Okay. Okay. So I don't involve the good muscle.
Yeah. Don't change too much from a normal bench press. Just come in and implement the same cues.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Doug.
Hey, Nick. Hey, so I uploaded a bench press video that I took the other day. Admittedly, I was doing the Arnold challenge where I was trying to connect with others. So I went in with my son and his friend, and I was like, "Hey, I got a videographer here, so let me get some vi footage." But hey, my question is this: so I've kind of been rebuilding all my major lifts because I reached a point where things were starting to hurt, and with the bench, it was the shoulder, and so I've been really trying to pay attention to the form cues that you've given us about keeping our shoulders in our hip pocket, and I'm hoping that my form is starting to get there because I feel like I'm rebuilding my strength without the pain. It's just taking a while to get back to those old PRs.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for it. Keep that in mind when your video comes up, and really pay attention to what you're doing with packing your lats and bracing and everything, and we'll
All right.
see what's going on.
Thanks.
Do you have any like previous injuries with your shoulders or anything?
No, just, lots of years of throwing shot put and lifting and falling off bikes and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Do you how'd it feel when you were benching?
But lately, it's been feeling good. It's been feeling good. I was watching my video and I did notice like I pick up my head, which I don't think I'm supposed to do, and I had no idea I was doing that. So,
It's something that some people do. It's nothing detrimental to a severe degree, but it is something, we don't want to add extra movement when we're trying to move weight. So if we're pressed in neutral spine, arch back, kind of, that ideal form that we're looking for, and everything's tight. When we do this, we actually, that's connected. So we're putting a strain into those upper back muscles. And what tends to happen is people tend to kind of roll forward a little bit
yeah,
when they come down, and then they got to get back into pressing position. So that's why I always cue people away from it.
I definitely think you'll see that because that's the exact motion, right? I kind of curl up and then push myself back up. Okay. All right, cool.
Cool. It says Zoom user. You don't have your name written, but you're next in line. Go ahead. Yeah, you pointing to yourself.
I was trying to change that, but I haven't been on Zoom in forever, so I don't know how to change my name. I'm John Phillips. So I was talking to you the other night in the Insta chat about recovery in the legs doing maximize your strength.
Yep.
So I don't really feel like I have issues recovering with the upper body or the upper back, but my lower body, I struggle, and it's kind of looking back over the last 2 years. It's not when I get into the later in the phase, and the sets are going up. When I'm probably hitting about 3 days a week on leg exercises, I'm struggling to recover. I seem to manage fine doing it twice a week, but maximize your strength is really sort of pushed. So I don't know how to. I don't know that there's anything I could change other than more rest. I mean, I feel like I eat pretty well. I get 200 grams of protein. I get sleep, but the lower body is just
it
it's a
makes sense,
struggle.
right? So between your upper body and lower body, which moves more total tonnage?
that guy out.
I would go with your lower body.
Exactly, right? So
Yeah.
now we've added another day into the mix that was used for probably recovery before. So we're requiring more output and we're getting less recovery. So there's gonna be trade-offs, right? So it can be managed a few ways. You either and this depends on day-to-day life, your personal schedule, what you have time for. It can be managed a few different ways. You can be doing more recovery in your off time immediately after lifting, spare time, which can be hard to do. I think you said you have kids. You've got a lot going on. The other thing is you up your intake. You give your body more fuel to repair and rebuild. The other is you manage it through effort. So that third day when you're a little bit cooked, you might have to let off the gas pedal and get more reps in that are more conducive to blood flow and less conducive to high effort and trying to really push a strength gain. Because in the long run, that third lower day is still going to be doing its job, right? So you can back off the gas pedal and effort. And I'm not saying like take it easy. But you could lower the weight, slow down the reps, add some tempo, and make it a little bit harder with lighter weight to give your body a chance to not blast your central nervous system. Because your nervous system, you hear me talk about it all the time, but it is the thing that dictates so much how much we can lift on any given day, whether we're sick, we're fatigued. It holds back some horsepower when it's kind of getting dug into. So when you're sore like that, how long you been doing this new training schedule?
I'm at the end of phase 2 this week.
How many weeks is that?
Oh gosh. I want to guess each phase is 4 or 5 weeks.
I was about to
I
say
can't swear to that.
So yeah, and it's a 4 phase. You're doing 4 phases.
I don't know if there's 4 phases. This is my first time through it. I know there's at least 3. If
I think
anybody
it's
else
3
knows the
because
answer.
I'm doing it too, and I'm supposed to finish around mid-November, and I just
Okay.
started phase 3.
Yeah. So what you could do is you could back off the effort on that third leg day out of the 3 and give your body a little bit more chance to tolerate it, because it's the first time you've run and you move some good weight. Like from the stuff I've seen in your videos, you're not really fucking around. So the stronger you get, the more things cost, right? In we see it in, say, I compete in strongman. I'm a middleweight. So whether I pull 600 pounds, say me and a 300-pound human have the same deadlift. We pull the same weight.
Oh, Mike.
But the reality is, at my 200-pound frame, a 600-pound pull will affect it more throughout the week than it will on a 300-pound frame. So the stronger you get, the more this costs you. So that's like 1,000-pound deadlift. There's guys that are around 200 pounds that in the powerlifting world that deadlift close to 1,000 pounds. I've seen them do it in person, and the reality is, while they are as strong as someone who's 400 pounds, that 900 plus pound deadlift costs them more recovery wise on the back end. Weight moves weight. We heard that. It's tailors all this time. And then there you have pound for pound strength. But there's less mass doing more work. So it's going to cost more. So you're stronger. And now you're asking more totally of your entire body. So you're going to have to figure out what trade-off is best for your schedule, either manipulating effort on that third day because it's your first time through this, your body's going to have to adjust, changing some things nutritionally, or adding more recovery in, whether it be like sports massage, rolling out, stretching, dynamic movements to allow your body to hit flows and things like that. So you're gonna have to figure out which one of those is going to be the best option for you. My recommendation would be that it being your first time through this program would be slightly back off the effort on that third lower day and see how that affects you through the rest of the phase into the next one and your recovery.
Okay.
That seems the simplest, and it is the one you can kind of get it's the easiest to interpret feedback.
So when you say back off effort, we're obviously doing less weight. Like try to do the same number of reps, just not.
Yeah. Follow your rep schemes in the program.
Right.
But like, say you have like a set of 6 and you're doing it now, say your top set, you maybe have 1 rep in the tank. Finish your top set at a weight where you have like 2 to 3 reps in the tank.
Okay.
Kind of like that, right? So it's going to be less tonnage, and you can manipulate that effort on a weekly basis. If you're going into that day, third lower body day, and you're more fried than you were last week, pull back some more on that day.
Okay.
If you're the following week, you feel a little bit better, give it a little bit more gas.
Okay.
Listen to your body.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. Happy to help. And let me know how this goes, whether it's in the group chat or here next week or something.
Okay. I will.
Cool. Robert, go ahead. Can't hear you, boss. We've got no audio from you. Can anyone else hear him, or is it just me? No.
No, I saw him turn his mic on, but I can't hear him at all.
Is it your AirPods or I don't know.
Maybe he's coming back in.
Yeah, let's give him a chance here before we move on.
Robert, if you click the audio microphone in the bottom left of the Zoom, right click it, or sorry, click that arrow
You
next
guys
to
hear
the
me now?
microphone. You should be able to select a microphone.
Yeah, sorry, it's not working. I'll have to drop and get back on. Thank you.
We can hear you now.
No, it's working. It's working.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
We got you.
Yeah. All right, I'm a boomer, I guess. So, hey, I don't have a question, Coach Nic. I just wanted to say a big thank you to you and Coach Jen. So, for me, my squats have always been really unnatural. They just don't feel good. They don't feel right. I'm 6'2". I'm the same height as Arnold. So I just figured it was, my height. They always squats hit my lower back as much as they hit my legs. And I had seen some YouTube videos from Arnold where he had said that his back squats kind of hit his lower back too. So I just always thought it was normal and it was just an awkward movement for me. But yesterday, I, for the first time, took some of the cues that you and Coach Jen have been giving. I took a little bit wider stance. And I think more crucially, I moved the bar from my upper trap neck area down to my lower trap area for my squats. And for the first time in my life, they felt really good. I felt really strong. In fact, after the set was over, I had to double check the weights because it was moving so easily. I thought that maybe I had not loaded enough weight, but it was the same. It was the right weight. It was my working weight. The reps were just really easy. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to you and Coach Jen for some of those cues.
Do you have a long torso?
I do, very long. Yeah.
That I know that because what made me ask that question was you drop from a high bar to a low to mid bar, and for people with long torsos, it's more advantageous. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, just a big thank you for that.
Of course. Glad we could help. Steven.
Hi. Hey, just every so often I seem to hit a plateau where I just can't increase the weight. And sometimes it stays for quite a while on whatever exercise I'm doing, go vary amongst the exercises. How do you get around that?
Give me a little bit more info. Give me an example of an exercise. How long has it been since you've been able to increase the weight? Where in the workout is it? What movement?
The one that really comes to mind, I'm not in that program now. I finished it, but I was doing it was the 4-day split. I can't remember what it was called, but I was doing squats in it, and basically I was stuck with the same weight through the whole program.
What was the rep range?
10.
And it was 10 all the time?
Yeah.
Was it the first movement? Was it later in the workout? Was it?
It was generally, I think it was the first or second movement all the time.
Okay. So,
but this happens on other exercises. This isn't the only one.
So if you were to, so this is where variation comes into play, right? So, when you say you weren't able to go up in weight, were you failing sets of 10?
No.
Didn't go up in weight.
Well, it seemed like I was struggling at the weight I was at. Like I was kind of afraid to try and. It was tough to get the 10 in. Like it was. I was at the point where I was afraid to add additional weight on.
Even say 5 pounds.
Yeah.
But you never had a set where you missed a single set of 10.
No.
Need to push it.
You're not gonna I don't want this to come off the wrong way.
Aggressive. Let's push
Try harder. And I'm not saying you're not trying. What I'm saying is load on 2.5 pound plates on each side and go hit a set of 10. Because that's 1000% a mental barrier. That's not you can't, if you've never missed a set of 10, you just need to throw on 5 pounds and go for it.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
It's a lot of people don't realize that they can do more because they've never been. So I'm not saying you haven't been.
Well, I've pushed it. Like I've doubled. I don't squat huge numbers like everybody, some other people, but like I've doubled what I'm squatting from when I started squatting.
Yeah. So this is a matter of you're probably gonna have to grind a little bit more. So how long have you been squatting, and have you submitted videos?
No, I haven't.
Submit some.
The timing's never worked out to attend these coaching sessions before, so this is.
You can watch them on YouTube whenever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you submit videos, I can review them, see how you're squatting. We can probably make you better at squatting, which will lead to you squatting more weight probably immediately. And two, when I have visual feedback on how you're moving, I can tell you if that set of 10 there's more weight in the tank or if there's not.
Okay.
And usually when there's not more weight in the tank, those last 2 to 3 reps, you'll be underneath the bar and you'll be questioning it. Like that's a max effort, right? When you tell me I can't move up in weight, I'm thinking that last rep is taking so long to come back up with. You're fighting with everything you have because that's what that looks like when you don't have another rep in the tank.
Okay. So question, but amongst the different sets. So I know they always talk about, you want to do load it up enough where your strength, you maybe got 2 or 3 reps left in you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that per set? So like if you go all out on the first set, at least in my case, I really have to drop the weight on subsequent sets.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I know there was a discussion in one of the not chats. It was the Saturday Smooths. There was a bit of a discussion there one time, and people were go for it that way, and it was like, no, you shouldn't be doing that because it's.
There's a couple ways you can run. Say just for consistency, let's say we're looking at 3 sets of 10.
Okay.
There's a couple ways you can break that down. So we can do 3 sets of 10 with an increase in weight. We can do 3 sets of 10 with a decrease in weight, or we can do 3 sets of 10 with a steady with no weight change. And it's all on how you select the weight. So if I'm going to do 3 sets of 10 with a decrease in weight on each set, I'm going to be running max effort on every single set. Odds are and it also is going to depend on your gas tank. Odds are my first set has to be it's going to be damn near a 10 rep max. My second set, I'm probably going to have to take off 5 to 10% of that weight, give or take. And I'm going to be within that 1 rep-ish 2 reps left in the tank. My third set will either stay the same or it'll drop again, depending on how the second set went. If I'm going up in weight, my first set will probably have 3-ish reps left in the tank. I'll add, say, 2.5 pounds on each side, 5 pounds total. And that'll keep me in that rep range. If that went well, I'll add 10 pounds total. And then it keeps me in that range. Or I pick a weight where I have, say 3 reps left in the tank. Odds are I can maintain that throughout the set. And my last set, I might have 1 rep left in the tank with that same weight. So it all depends on how you increase or decrease the weight. What you start with your first weight selection can differentiate how your sets go and what the goal is with the sets.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It really comes into play when you're in the rise. I'm in the Rise of the Machine program right now. That's a 20 rep. You end up 20 reps, 5 sets, right? Like I found if you load it up to where you're within 3 with on the first set or 2, by the time you get to the last set, you're like, if you're doing the shoulder press or whatever, like you could hardly lift the bar. Never mind getting 20 reps.
And that's because 20 reps is a shitload of reps. That's just how.
My younger days, I used to do 25 all the time. That used to be my norm, but that was a long time ago. So
yeah, you're building, that's so much hypertrophy and so much muscular endurance at that point. If you're looking to put weight on your total, right, you're going to want to do a different program you're going to want to do a program that has, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s.
Yeah, I like the variation. Okay. I do the other programs. I kind of like the Rise of the Machines. I don't know why, but I like the change up. So I complete one out. Then after I do this, I'll go back to one of the other programs like that. I can't think of a program. It's one of the most common ones on there. But
I promise you, if you just, on the sets of 10, if you just load on the extra 5 pounds, I think you'll surprise yourself and just commit to it. Like this is happening.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, take some videos. Let me see what's going on.
I got somebody to go to the gym with me so they could video it.
It's too easy, right? You can. I've used my shoes. I'll literally grab my shoe.
Oh, really?
Flip-flops on now, but say this is a shoe with the heel, and I'll take my phone and wedge it in my shoe with the camera facing me, right? So it holds it up. It squeezes on either side, and I just set that on a bench facing me when I'm squatting, and I'm good to go. Use a water bottle, anything. You can lean it up against.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. Yanis.
Hi, Nick. Hi. Yeah, just a question on the squatting. I think I loaded the video, so let's see if we can look at them. But the depth of squatting, I have a question. I hear something is like 90 degrees, others they say all the way down. What's the...
So it pertains to our hip crease and the top of our knee. So
sorry?
If you look, when I bend over or I bend my leg up, this hip crease right here, pertaining to the top of my knee.
Okay.
So that hip crease needs to be at or below. That's the depth standard.
Okay, good.
Yep.
And thank you. One more question. I have the dumbbell program because I usually do from home. Sometimes I can go to the gym. Is it okay on the big lifts to switch to barbell instead of using dumbbells when I'm at the gym? Because I read, there was an article that we shouldn't change the exercises, but
yeah, I mean, you shouldn't for consistency and tracking purposes. But I mean, if you're at the part where you want to do that, you need to just switch to a barbell program because you're ready.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you.
I think you should jump on a barbell program and give it a chance and run it and see what happens.
Okay.
Is that more about available equipment at the time that you're doing or is that?
What was that?
Is that more about available equipment he has to do the exercises, or is that?
Well, he said sometimes he likes to go to a gym.
Yeah.
So I think if possible, it would make more sense to use the dumbbells and stuff at home when you don't have time for the gym, but have them make the main focus of getting to a barbell or getting a barbell and a rack at home if you just simply prefer, lifting at home. So that's kind of going to be up to you. But if you want to give barbell a shot, give it a shot.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Yep. Andres.
Yeah. Hey, Nick. So, phase 3 of maximize your strength calls for dumbbell chest presses, but I have 50s, so I don't and I press more than that, like with the barbell. And the exercise that they say that you can swap for is the close grip press. So should I try like the 50s first, see how that feels? If they're too easy, maybe move up to the barbell close grip.
That's a good intuitive guess. So see how the dumbbells feel. If they're too easy, go to the close grip.
Yeah, because I haven't tried them, but I think 50 might work for like to start, and then
dumbbells typically are harder than a barbell. You can do more on a barbell than you can on a dumbbell because you don't have the individual. Yes. Yep. Exactly. Cool.
Thanks. I'll try that and see how it goes.
Yes, sir. All right. Do we have anybody else before we move on to these form checks? Jeanette, go ahead. You're muted. There we go.
Okay, sorry. So one of the workouts, it has you doing, I don't have a bench at home, so can you do it on the ground?
You can. If that's your only option, it's better than nothing. 1,000.
Okay.
Or laying on something. I've seen people almost like they fabricated a bench in the means of like taking plywood and putting it on plates just to give them an extra like 3 inches of range of motion. They got creative. But when in doubt, if that is your only option, it's far better than not doing them at all.
I can always go to the gym. I like live between 2 gyms, so.
I mean, if you can go to the gym and use the actual equipment, 1,000%. But when time doesn't allow or it's not an option, doing it on the floor is valid.
Okay, I'm doing foundation repeat right now. I just started phase 2s.
Okay, good.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good intuitive thought to have. So good job.
All right, thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else? No? All right, Noah, let's fire up the form checks.
We all able to see here? Just so before I start, we're good? All
That's
right.
good to me.
So is this better than last time or?
Yes. Yeah, this looks good. I really want you're doing much better at focusing on pushing your hips back. So good mornings, that's really like the key. Because a good morning is a top loaded basically version of a stiff leg deadlift or an RDL. So you'd have weight either you're holding it up here or it's a bar on your back. That's the difference between a good morning and an RDL. So the further we push our hips back, the more glute stretch, hamstring stretch we get, and the more we can squeeze and fire through and hit those targeted muscles. So as long as you have that in mind and keeping that chest proud, when you do load the movement, you're going to have a slower eccentric and you're going to fire up by sliding through with your hips.
Okay, so should I push even more behind or?
Yeah, always do a little bit more than you think you're doing. I use that for depth and when it comes to range of motion, especially when it's light, you can exaggerate it.
Okay, I'll try.
When you start loading weight, then we might see if there's any weak points and we can further tweak it and get better.
Okay, thank you. I will try.
Yes, sir. Body weight tricep extension. These are good. I mean, the realm of perfection here is a lot looser than a lot of lifts because you use your body angle to mitigate difficulty. And he's moving these well. He's under control. He's not all over the place. I'm totally okay with these, Dan. Good job. $75-kilo squat. Ooh, excuse me. I would go lower on the rack than have to tippy toe. Oh no. You've got great posture and great range of motion. These are almost a sissy squat with how narrow you are. Let's get those feet out at shoulder width, and I have no doubt that depth will be so much easier for you to hit by widening up your base. So that's the main takeaway from this. Otherwise, you look very composed. I'd rather you go on the lower squat rack than higher because as you do get heavier, the odds of you missing that become higher, and missing a re-rack sucks. Anybody who's been in strength training for has done that. It's never fun. But other than that, yeah, widen up your base, and I have no doubt that you getting down deeper will be no issue. I'd like to see that first before I cue you in on anything else. So good job. Next.
You're gonna like this part.
All right. Yeah, you realize boop boop. Yep, underneath.
Nah, it was just an example. I wasn't gonna do that.
Beautiful. Everything looks good so far. Okay. So you're just a hair high on depth. You're flirting with
Okay.
it. You need to get a little bit lower.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is slow down your descent slightly.
Same as the front squat.
Yes,
Slow it
slow
down.
down your descent slightly and really focus on going down deeper than you think you are. One way you can do this is you can set up something. We have, again, I like using Noah as an example because we're working on a lot of foundational stuff with him. We're using a box to give him physical feedback on where his depth's at.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would set a box at about 2 inches lower than your kneecaps.
Okay.
Give or take. It all depends on proportions to really mark that depth. And you can record without weight and sit on it in like a squat position, and you can look
Yeah.
and see if you're there or not.
Okay, because I have that box that has like 3 sides, 16, 24. Maybe try the 16
Yeah,
side.
try it and see if any of those are low enough.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, go deeper. Yeah.
Otherwise,
gotcha.
you're moving great. So good
Alright,
job
cool.
on that. Just some little fine tuning stuff.
Sure.
No big
Thanks.
deal.
I tried to get used about the kind of new
Bend over row.
so I don't know if I swing much.
Luckily, there's a mirror, so I can see your full body.
I have a hard time to film myself alone in the gym.
don't row so high to your chest. Row more towards your belly button.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're not rowing up here like a high pull. We actually want to row to our belly button. Think about pulling the bar through your body using your back. So initiate with your back, and your arms will follow through and squeeze with your back at the top.
Okay.
So,
I get it.
And to learn this movement, just like most, a nice hard contraction and slow. Don't just let it drop and pull you kind of back down again. Come down under tension and then fire back up, so we can get that bar path steady and under control, and then we can bring up the weight.
Okay.
But your
I get it.
positioning otherwise looks fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Good job. These are good. So he doesn't have too much bend in his knees, and he's doing what his range of motion allows. That's why these aren't too deep. He's moving well. I would like to see a little bit more acceleration of the hips. He's doing solid weight here. What I always tell people is don't do your stiff leg deadlifts and RDLs out of a rack and walk out with it. Do a conventional deadlift off the floor, stand up, brace, start your rep at the top, and then when you're finished, set it back down on the ground. Why? Because it puts us in just a better position tension-wise, and we're ready for the weight because we've had a rep to pick it up off the floor, right? Otherwise, I love your back position. I love how you're pushing your hips back. Bring those hips through violently. Squeeze the shit out of your butt cheeks. That's all it is. Overall, good job. Next. All right, so we're building Benoit's deadlift kind of from the top down. We were having some positioning issues at a full range of motion, and these look so much better. He's using jack stands. That is fucking awesome. Look at that cat-cow right into position, pulls in tension. Benoit, these are fantastic. Cat-cow. So I gave him that cue to give him physical feedback. Not everyone needs to do that, but this is something that we used for him to force his body to feel the physical movement of pulling in position, and he's doing such a great job. Benoit, let's drop those jack stands another inch or two. You are moving these great. This is Noah, this is a very similar key to what we're working on with you. How he's pulling himself into position and the method we're using to build from the top down. So sometimes that's what it takes, people. Sometimes it's not learning the movement from the ground up, it's learning it from the top down. And it just depends on the person. This is exactly why I like doing these Zoom calls, because I wouldn't be able to problem solve this issue through a chat thread. These are great, Benoit. Next. Elevated SDLs. Accelerate those hips. Fire them through. Vicious. Violence. Like that bar took your lunch money and you're trying to get it back. Next. Big Ben. Step up. Good. Oh. Getting his head right. Pull those hips and sit. Yes, Ben. Overall, these are really good. Sit in. Good. So a minor tweak here. His shoulders are a little bit out front of the bar. So what that means is we can afford to get his hips a little bit lower. So Ben, I want to see you sit down just a tiny bit more so it brings your shoulders back. Change nothing else. That's all I want you to change right now. Your deadlift overall is looking really good. We just need to get your position kind of rotated slightly back so it doesn't, that bar doesn't swing and that bar path is completely straight. And the result will likely be you're going to get more leg drive out of this by kind of sitting down slightly more, which will draw your shoulders back, will bring your chest up, and it'll put you in a better position for where you need to be. Good job. Next. Beautiful position. Ian, all I want to see you do here is accelerate that bar. Once it breaks, I want to see it speed up the entire time. So patient off the floor, and then once you feel that bar break, speed it up so your hips come through violently. But your form is looking fantastic. I would say in between each rep, instead of kind of like, it almost looks like you're kind of hovering. Are you going all the way down? Let's look at the bar tension. No, you're setting down. That's good. I would say either brace at the top or re-brace at the bottom in between each rep. So you're ingraining that same setup that you had on the first rep. But these are looking really, really pretty. I just want to see some acceleration. Get a little violent. Next. Decline push-ups. Yeah. Starting to shallow out a little bit, but I think it's just because you're getting tired. Yep. They're getting shallower and shallower. Yep. I figured the set was going to end soon. The first half of those were really pretty push-ups, and then you just look like you just kind of got tired. I'd like to see that full range of motion through them all, but anyone who's done push-ups, when you get close to failure, everyone knows they don't look the same as the first couple. And Sandra, I'm being picky because you do great push-ups. So you're gonna get a tough crowd because you're good at them. Next. It's hard to see from the front. And what is it? Okay, there we go. Okay, so if this is a regular deadlift, I would stop there before we round over for that extra, 4 inches of range of motion. Goblet squats, keep the chest proud. Less folding, more sitting. So we're going to sit back to our heels to keep our chest up a little bit more upright. You move well. Just got to get you comfortable within those planes. But the main takeaway from your deadlift is don't reach for the ground. Keep that spine neutral. When you hit the point where you have to fold over to get lower, that's your depth. That's where you stop. So it would be right there. Next. Decline push-ups. Any movement on the floor, if there's a dog around, they always think it's an invitation to participate. These look good. I'd like to see them from the side. Overall, they look good. You look like you weren't struggling at all. The dog's adorable. Next. Dog's definitely stealing the show every single time. Pull-ups. Squeeze that core. That'll help you stop the swinging. Good range of motion. You could probably go a little bit lower. It depends if your feet will hit or not. Your range of motion was good. You got plenty of power on the way up. I do want to see him one more time. Let's see how you initiate. Are we initiating with our back? A little bit more of an exaggerated initiation out of the hole. Think about pulling yourself up out of the hole with your lats. And then once that momentum starts, we bring our arms into the motion. So it's pow, pow. And then it's one smooth motion. Overall, pretty good. Next. Doug Myers. We got the same last name, same spelling and all. Doug, these look really good. You see how that shoulder's not sliding all around? Let's see from the low angle. See how those shoulders are relatively staying in place. Your head lift, there we go. As you get tired, it starts to get a little bit more drastic. But your head lift wasn't that bad. It's just going to be something you need to be conscious of to keep it down.
Yeah.
Or have your son put his foot on your forehead. I wouldn't recommend that, but your bar path looks pretty good. I love how you're driving back up towards your eyes. What are you inputting with your legs? It's hard to tell because they're out of frame. Are you squeezing your butt? Are you driving your knees apart? Are you creating tension with your lower body?
I think I'm good at the squeezing the butt from your previous cues.
Okay.
I don't know how much I engage the rest of my legs though.
So what I want you to do is think about coiling yourself down when you get into position. So with that arc, coil yourself down into your heels. So you might want to bring your feet a little bit more underneath of you. So when you squeeze your butt and you drive that bar up off your chest, think about the leg input to the floor. Think about you're trying to drive yourself up the bench, not up into the air, but up the bench, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so when you come out of the hole, it's pow, legs get involved, everything. And you can try it like subtly in warm-ups just a little bit. Because obviously if you explode with your legs and bring yourself up off the bench, you're going to be out of position. It's just we're squeezing our butt, everything's tight on the way down, and then boom, some leg drive to help us out of the hole. Up the bench, not up in the air. But overall, your bench looks really good.
All right, good. Thank you.
And that's how you're packing your lats in your back is why you're not feeling it in your shoulders. Well done.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry, it's a different angle.
Yep.
This is when I tried to lift my son's weight.
Who's stronger, dad or son?
With very mixed emotions, he is. He's got me by about 25, 30 pounds on bench now, which is awesome and sucks at the same time.
Who squats and deadlifts more?
Oh, I got him there still.
Okay, so tell him he ain't shit. Well done. Next. Rory finally on the barbell.
Yes. So these were like a breeze. They were ridiculously easy. But this was my first time, so I did that on purpose. Now what I wanted to ask you was on the program it says this is just a deadlift. It doesn't say stiff-legged. And I just followed the tips in the video So based on that, this is what I got.
Yeah, no, this looks overall, this is pretty sound. It's hard to tell from your foot width. I almost would like to see your feet come in like an inch total. So like
Okay.
each toes pointed slightly out. I think we could get a little bit more leg drive out of you. What that means is the same thing I was talking about, Ben. So your hips might need to come down I mean, this much, to bring your shoulders directly over that bar. Like these are very, very subtle adjustments.
Okay.
And that's because overall your deadlift looks very, very good. We're just trying to milk a little bit more out of it. Load some weight on the bar. Let's see what goes wrong.
Okay, so can you just give me a quick clarification of what's stiff-legged, what's like, this is just a traditional deadlift?
Yeah, that's a conventional deadlift. Stiff-legged.
Okay. Conventional, okay.
Conventional, the first half of the pull is our legs pushing us off the floor, and then our glutes sliding through to finish. A stiff leg deadlift, I never tell people to do them locked out, but there's slight bend, or we call them soft knees, and we're just hinging. So our ass is pushing back and sliding forward. An RDL, there's moderate bend. So we get a little bit more range of motion. But it is using the very same muscle group as a stiff leg deadlift.
Okay.
Yes.
So in the program then, is that something that will interchange as I go? Or is it more of a preference thing?
Well, when you say interchange, SDLs and RDLs or deadlifts and SDLs and RDLs?
I'm just curious going forward if that's something that the programs will kind of work me through, or if this goes back to a preference thing, like I hear a lot of people talking about. Okay.
Now, the way I coach it is if it says stiff leg deadlift or RDL, if you're doing one or the other when they're programmed, I don't really care. Because they both work so similarly.
Okay.
If you're trying to get good at one, I can coach it more stricter, but they are assistance movements to the main movement, which is the deadlift.
Gotcha.
They're to build that hamstring and glute strength.
Okay.
So out of the hole, you get more quad with a conventional deadlift. You get quad and hamstrings and glutes pick up and finish.
Okay.
And from the waist up, it's basically load bearing. That's just holding the weight from the waist up on a deadlift. Its goal is to hold the weight.
Yeah.
From the waist down, it's to drive.
That's where all the power is coming from. Okay. So the next video I sent in, I really want to talk to you about because my wrists were not happy at all. And it's the squat.
Hit the next one, Noah.
So this was definitely my first time doing a squat like this. I thought I had gotten pretty good with depth when I was doing the dumbbell squats.
I mean, you're right there.
But my wrists were yelling at me, and I tried watching on the video, and there's the 2-finger thing, there's the crisscross thing.
No, all you need is 2 fingers, really.
Okay.
Like we're trying to wedge it in behind our delt. So we keep the elbows high, and wrist mobility is going to come.
Okay.
It will get better. So how we make this easier position, we stretch our triceps, we stretch our forearms, we stretch our wrists. And simply just doing the front squat with your fingers there will help that progressively. But you could simply going on YouTube and typing in movements, wrist mobility for front squat, and you're going to find a laundry list of things you can do and try and see which ones work for you. My favorite one is sitting, on my knees with my heels up against my butt and turning my hands backwards and then pushing them into the floor and sitting back and stretching all this.
Okay.
The other one I do is I'll take a band and I'll wrap it around my wrist and I'll anchor it at about waist height behind me, and I'll step forward and let it pull my back so it stretches my lat and my tricep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to keep my arm 90, and I was trying to keep my hands more of a close grip based on what the video was showing me.
Yeah, your fingers kind of go at or right, like at the outsides of your shoulders. So you're like here, keeping your
Okay.
elbows as high as possible.
Okay.
And you're just sitting to your heels.
Okay.
You might even find a little bit. You've got great ankle mobility because I don't really see your heels picking up. I see them getting light. Maybe putting some 5-pound plates underneath your heels, and you might feel a little bit more ease down in the position.
Okay.
But overall, you have a really great starting point.
Okay. Well, I was very excited to start it this week. So basically what I'm doing is I am just doing the switch out for each exercise that gives me the barbell option.
Correct.
But yeah, thank you for that. As far as those mobility stretches, is there a good time to do them? I think you've talked about this before, like
right before you front squat and on your
so.
rest.
Okay.
Warm up.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Of course. Next. Some high effort pulls. Let's go. The angle doesn't give me much. This looks like he was pretty stoked. So this could have been a PR. What I will say from this angle, what I can gather is bring your feet in a little bit narrower. Your knees folded. So we need to basically put our foot width in a position where our hips can remain open and we align with power per se. And see how wide you are with your grip. That'll give you more arm leverage from your arm length. So it'll allow your chest a higher starting position. So let's bring our foot in about an inch on each side and bring our, just like you had there, hands right on the outside of our legs. And that should give us a little bit more leverage. I'd like to see your deadlift from the side to see what else is going on, but this is a solid pull, man. Good job. Next. He likes wide. So we're gonna narrow you up slightly. See how those knees are folding again? We need to drop the weight a little bit because we need to get you into position. So as you're sitting down, you're folding with your torso. We need to keep that chest proud and that brace because we're loading our lumbar when we don't need to be, and we're giving the weight leverage. Bring your feet in a little bit. I'd say more closer to shoulder width. Because we're coming. It looks like you're restricted on depth, whether it be weight or mobility. But we're gonna kind of have to chip away at this to get you moving in one piece. So the folding can be helped with our brace, and holding onto that bar and squeezing our back at the same time to keep our chest proud. Because we do want to maintain a neutral spine. We do not want that folding. So those are the main takeaways from this. And honestly, sorting some of that out will probably put immediate pounds on your bar, because you're going to be in a much better position. Next. So this is what you would call a sumo deadlift. We had some soft hips at the lockout. So sumo, your hip position's too high. Where sumo really gets his benefit are for people that are really strong quad dominant, and it finishes with the glutes with less hamstring. Sumo, we're actually going to drop our butt a little bit more and that close grip allows us to bring our chest higher. So this is what I'd call like a sumo RDL, per se. You've got power. We just need to get you moving in the right planes. Next. These are good. Focus on that contraction at the bottom and curling your body in. But I love the way your elbows and everything stay the same, in the same position. These are pretty good. Next. Kickstand SDLs. These are good. So with the kickstand, we want to bring that back foot actually closer. So it's a little less load bearing. So we're going to bring it closer and keep it light because it looks like you're resting on that back foot versus it's literally there just to kind of add a little bit of pressure and support. But your positioning and your extension is really good. You've got great mobility. I love the way you're accelerating up out of the hole and squeezing your glutes. Less input from the back foot and more weight on that front foot to let that glute and that front leg hamstring do a lot of the work. Next.
Okay.
Do you have any questions there?
I don't think so. I struggle with them, the balance. So maybe
Yes.
having the legs closer together would be helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. So we actually I don't have the room, but it's almost like our back leg is almost in line with our load bearing leg. And then it's just slightly bends back just a little bit. And it should be like maybe an inch or two, 3 inches behind your heel. So it's not a big split, right? It's actually, we're very close and compact, and it allows us to get way more stretch into that load bearing leg. You've got the right idea. I think just that adjustment and focusing our weight in that foot that's supposed to be doing the work will probably make things a little bit easier for you. And what I notice when it comes to balance, if I'm able to stare at something, like a spot on the floor, like 5 foot out in front of me, it makes it a little bit easier to balance.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Good job. You move well. You move really well. These are pretty good. We could get a little bit more depth, but you're moving really good. Everything is, for the most part, where it's supposed to be. The only thing that really stands out is our heels lifting. No, let that play one more time. Which I think, and it's hard to tell from the side what our foot width is looking like. Yeah, the heels peel up. So honestly, I'm thinking we might be narrow. Maybe we come out a little bit and we sit more to our heels, and that should alleviate some of that heel peeling up, or simply putting those 5-pound plates under your heels could be a game changer for you. Let's give those few things a shot and let's see what your squat looks like next week. Next.
All right, that's me.
You've got great depth.
Thank you.
You have no issue on depth. I hate your rack position. You see how it's in front of your delts?
Yes.
That's going to limit you in how you progress with weight. Because as that gets heavier, it's going to push your arms down. Versus getting that 2-finger method or using straps to hold on to get our elbows up and getting that bar behind our delts.
Okay. Yeah, I do have a lot of like pain. So I did this a few days ago.
Okay.
And it definitely is hurting my delts now. They're really sore from where the bar rests. I'm so tight that I can't get my elbows up and that the 2 fingers on. I heard what you said earlier about getting the mobility there.
Mobility work. And another thing you can do is take like a PVC pipe and you get down on your knees and put your elbows on a bench. And we put our elbows inside our wrist width and holding a PVC pipe, push our head down between our elbows as far as we can, and then slowly rocking side to side. And that's going to open up some of this. I'm so tight. That was as far as I could go right now. But I'm training later and I'm going to be doing that exact thing. That's going to help with some of that mobility, because the things that restrict us getting into that position are, our upper back, our lats. It's rarely shoulder mobility. It's almost always tricep, lats, and wrists. So those are the things we need to really work on. And I always tell people, like, the things that work for the next part, there's things that generally work, but for things like this, it's really worth looking up on typing what I told Rory, typing into YouTube, and just trying some things. Like, okay, this fits the category of the problem I'm having. Let me try that for a week on a daily basis. So when I come to front squat, let's see if my mobility's better. Did it work? Nope. Kick that to the side. So those are some things that have worked for me that I fed her. And they could work for you, but there could be some other options that simply work better for you and your mobility.
Can I throw my 2 cents worth in here, Nick?
What?
Can I throw my 2 cents worth in here? Could you help me?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, let them know, because I did the same thing. I was doing the cross arm, and when you taught me about the zombie squat with the empty bar, that actually taught me to hold the bar a little bit up higher. And once I did that and I brought my hands closer to my shoulder, which you were talking about, I was able to get that mobility that I didn't think I had. And I did do the stretching exercises too. So just letting him know that the advice you're giving, I was that guy. I was that guy that said, I'm never going to be able to do the 2-finger hold. And following that advice, I was able to do that. I had to drop weight, kind of start over to get the depth and all that, but that stuff really works.
So the theory, the zombie squats are we hold our arms straight out, and it forces us to keep our chest high and have the bar behind our delts. Because if we're not, it'll roll off. So it's basically immediate feedback and forcing him to be in position. Because it wasn't just like holding the bar issues. It was, if I remember correctly, it was a positional issue. We had to get him used and comfortable with being that upright position and having the bar where it's supposed to be. So we can.
And that's where it was, because I couldn't get the depth without that. Yeah. Yep.
You don't have a depth issue. You're burying these. So that's why I didn't really go that route. It's more of, we need to get you used to holding it, how you need to be holding it. And I think starting with some mobility exercises and starting with 1 to 2 fingers, I know guys that can literally hold the bar in that position. I don't know how the fuck they get there. Because that is just incredible. That's next level mobility. Even when I'm push pressing and I'm throwing and catching, the bar's like in my fingertips. And when I throw it off my chest, I roll my hands into it and then I go into the press. So I think for you, we just need to drill some mobility and get you used to being in that position. It will come. It will get easier. I promise. It's just going to be
okay. And then
go ahead.
I'm sorry. It cut out. I was going to say, I did also want to question, should I be wearing a weight belt for this to kind of keep it in, keep that form when I'm going down?
No, I would like to see it from the side. So Do you understand bracing? Do you know how to brace?
Yeah, I believe I do, but so I'm a little older, and my lower back has been getting a little tender with all these deadlifts. I'm doing the Maximizer Strength program, and so it's a lot of deadlifting, stiff-legged deadlift, which I think is my next video. And so my back just feels a little tender. So I've been putting the brace on just to give that added support. But I'm asking because I don't want it to become a handicap.
The belt isn't a handicap. It's let me be very clear. Belt doesn't protect your back. Your brace protects your back. The belt amplifies your brace.
Okay.
That makes sense. So when you brace, you create this internal pressure. So what a belt does is it goes around where your brace needs it most. You'll probably see on the internet some people wearing the belt higher, some people wearing the belt lower. And that comes down to where their brace needs that reinforcement the most. When I squat, my belt sits a little higher than when I deadlift because of where I break first is higher before I break lower. Deadlift, I break lower before I break higher. I've got really, really strong erectors that allow me to carry the load upper mid back wise. So I wear the belt lower because of that's where I need the support with my nerve damage, my disc issues, and my brace. So when we brace, we're bracing out against the belt. So without the belt, your brace stays the same, but that belt gives you a barrier, right? Think of like if you were to wrap your knee really hard, you could probably rebound out of the hole a little bit better. It's bracing your knee. It's supporting. So belt doesn't support our back, it supports our brace. Our brace is what protects our back. So if you're not bracing correctly with a belt on, it doesn't change anything.
Gotcha. Okay.
So some things I give people is I would say before your training sessions, just for physical feedback, lay on the floor on your back, put a 10-pound plate on your stomach and brace your back into the floor to close that gap and brace into the weight. So your stomach's expanding 360 degrees. And while you're doing it, you can put your hands around like your waist, kidney areas and feel that bracing happening into your hands as well. So you have physical feedback 360 degrees on your brace.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah, cool. And then
All
right. Just work on the mobility, 2 fingers, and then drop the weight obviously to get the motion back.
Yeah, I mean this weight here, I don't think the weight's an issue. I mean, you're like bip bip. I don't really think you're using a weight. And for me, I need a little bit weight on the bar when I front squat to have me in position anyway, to force my fingers into position the first couple sets.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with this weight. How did that weight feel easy to you?
It was, so I think this was my final set that I did it. So I worked up to it, and I think I was happy it was only 6 reps, like just getting them in.
Yeah, that's fine. Reduce the weight if you need to reduce the weight, whether it's just 25s, 10s, 210s, whatever.
I think it's just the way it's hitting on my delts is it's the bars resting on them more. So that's probably why I hit it.
So much easier when it's in position.
Okay, cool.
Guaranteed.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next. Yep, same thing. We just need to get you in position. That's all. All right. Are these conventional or stiff leg or RDL?
Stiff-legged, yeah.
So good, picking it up in conventional format. I like that. So you've got soft hips. Your range of motion and everything, your positioning looks good. When you're locked out, I want your shoulders over your hips, over your heels. So you need to violently squeeze your butt and bring those hips all the way through to meet the bar.
Okay.
So we're finishing in a nice vertical position and your butt's clinched.
Okay.
I always tell people like it's first day in prison.
Gotcha. All right. So just really stand up more.
Yeah, don't think about leaning back. right? That I don't want people to mix that up with leaning back. I want your hips glide through on a plane. So as you pick up the weight, your butt is doing this. This is the bar. This is your butt.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
our hips have to pow, slam into that bar.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes. Strong man. Now we're talking.
This was my third set.
Boom. Look at that explosion on the clean. So, that would be a no rep because you're finishing in a split jerk position, both feet under you.
Okay.
So when you lock out, step under. And then that back foot would need to come forward and then come down.
Okay.
All right. So you're athletic. I can tell just by how you're cleaning this log. For us guys that don't have big bellies, like those big heavyweight strongman, your explosion is your best friend. How do we make that better? You see how when you come up out of the hole, you stand up and the log stays low?
Okay.
I want you to crush that log. As you come down, pull the log into you. So when you explode, don't sit in the hole and wait. Go down, crush, boom, snap up.
Okay.
That log needs to stay up against your stomach, kind of slightly above where your belt is.
Okay.
Use that upper back, break the log, and it should snap up into position a whole lot easier. And where that's going to make a really, really big difference is when you're working around a weight that you can only do for 1, 2, or 3 reps. Because that ability for that log to stay put and snap up is going to be a night and day difference under heavy weight. Because you're going to get to a weight where that barbell hybrid clean isn't going to work.
Okay.
Or it's not going to, it'll work, but the clean will cost you too much. We want to use that log's diameter. So we come down, pow. Keep that log close, down, up. I don't want you sitting and waiting because I want you to use that elastic reflex, that explosion.
Got it.
Down, up. So as you're coming down, you're peeling that bar around your body, keeping those elbows nice and high, and then you're firing out of the hole and driving up. And I want you to keep those elbows as high as you can. And a good way to do that is upper back tension. I'm squeezing with my upper back in that rack position.
Okay.
You're not breathing with the log in the rack position, are you?
I have no idea.
So when that log's in the rack position, we don't want to breathe. Because anything we exhale, if we give the log an inch, it's going to take a foot. So you stand up, down, up, press, breathe at the top. Come down.
So start breathing right about here, pushing my breath out?
Yeah, once you lock out, then you breathe.
Okay.
Yeah, get used to having head pressure on this because the log is unforgiving. But this made my day, being able to coach a strongman movement. So thank you.
Well, I'll submit some more because I got some more questions. So I got the competition coming up and I want to be ready. So
yeah, let's get you dialed.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Chest supported row. These are fantastic. Good squeeze, rowing towards his belly button. Great range of motion. No issues. Next. Bulgarian split squats. Take about, I knew before you even squatted. You're going to want to come forward with that front foot by like 6 inches. You see how you're folding because you have to come back to get between your feet? Think about from the waist up, we want to be nice and vertical on these. We want to be able to squat straight down, straight up. So with our front foot, it actually needs to be a bit in front of us. and that should make that much noticeably more comfortable, to be
Yeah, you
completely
can ignore
honest.
this next part because me and Ketch talked about it.
Okay.
And I'm not supposed to do it with weights, which I didn't think about at the time. My last app had me to do it with weights, but he was saying not to because stability, and that was my key issue with stability here.
On the step ups?
Yeah.
I mean, you look. I guess I would need to ask Ketch why he recommended no weights because okay,
Yeah, he
now
said something about in the app that we weren't supposed to do it with weights either. And then my question here was whether I should have a little bit, like do it a little bit higher or not.
it kind of depends. So there's like a Russian, like there's different types of step ups, but like a standard step up, I typically tell people to where our front leg and our torso create a 90-degree angle is a really good place to start. And it simplifies things of, am I doing too blah, blah, blah. It generally creates a full range of motion. Now, when we're stepping up, how much weight you use, in my opinion, if you can do that step up with minimal to no input with body weight from the back foot, then you can add weight. But if you have to push yourself up off the floor with the back foot, don't add weight.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Now,
Yeah.
I didn't write that program, so I don't know the rep schemes and the intent, but I have always programmed personally and have always done step ups with weight. I've even done overhead barbell step ups to help with like overheads that like they're fucking gnarly. I hate those because they're hard. But as far as your weight selection and doing them with weight, if you can do them at that height without any real input from the back foot, then you can add 5-10 pounds and progress from there. We're progressive overloading. But as far as your Bulgarian split squats go, you want to be able to descend in a straight line. So bring that front foot out like 4 to 6 inches.
Okay.
And honestly, they should feel way more comfortable when you do that. I think when you do it, you'll be like, oh, like light bulb. But as far as step ups go, I guess I'd have to look at the workout to see the intention. But again, you've heard my 2 cents on how to know when to add weight. I think doing them a little bit higher than that. When I do step ups at this weight, so to explain how these function, right? When I'm doing step ups in pertaining to my sport of strongman, they're typically in conjunction with something like a yoke or some sort of carry and load. So when I'm doing step ups, I'm doing them with like 400 pounds on an SSB bar at a low height like that. Because a yoke, I got to run with 800 pounds on my back. So we're overloading at a lower range of motion to carry over to power to carry 800 pounds. Whereas this is carrying over to overall general strength. So we're going to want more range of motion and less weight. So you could probably go that higher height and test it for a week or two without body weight, being able to use minimal input from the back foot to step up. So it's that front quad, that front leg doing most of the driving. And don't just drop back down. Try and control it somewhat.
Okay.
Get a little bit of an eccentric out of it.
That was my issue with this also, is because I'm not really feeling it in my quad area whenever I'm doing the step up. So I figured that's why I needed probably a little bit more.
Where are you feeling it?
Kind of not. It just kind of feels like kind of normal. Well, maybe a little bit in like my calf, maybe.
Like your back calf?
Yeah.
So you're helping. You're doing too much work with the wrong leg.
Okay.
So let's add some range of motion. Let's use that setup you were starting to set up at the end there.
Yeah.
Let's drop the weight for now and try and get reps in at that range of motion and focusing on using that driving with that front leg through the floor with minimal input from the back leg.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds
cool.
good.
Good job.
Yeah, that was just my second video about a question. So you've already answered it though.
The cat cameo. I'd be terrified to work out with cats because I'd never know where they are, and I'd be like afraid to squash them. They're too sneaky. These are good. Great depth, great posture. Well done. I've got nothing to really give you on these, man. These are looking, that's a really good front squat. Next. Deadlift follow-up. Let's see. All right, so we've got higher bar elevation. So you're at a normal height. All right, these are better. These are trending in the right direction. You're doing almost an RDL. We could get more leg drive is what I'm trying to say. And so your back's not doing as much of the percentage of work. So what I'd like to see you do is drop your butt, sit back to your heels a little bit more so your shoulders draw back over to the bar. And I don't want you to think about picking up. I want you to think about pushing the floor out from underneath the bar with your legs. So we want a little bit lower of a hip position, and I want you to really pull that back in flat. Use your back tension to pull yourself into the bar. Snap the bar so we get nice, good lat tension. And if you're here or you watch this, that cat-cow cue I was giving Benoit, do that before your pulls, and use that cue to pull yourself into a neutral spine to get into position on the deadlifts. But these look incredibly better from last week. So you're moving the right direction. This is great. Next. Bench. This is pretty good. I can't really see your width. I'd like to see that on another video. So just let's start from your unrack. I'd like to see you slide a little bit down the bench slightly, like an inch or two. So your eyes are kind of underneath the bar for the unrack. Don't come out in one motion. Come up and then out. So we're tight. Our lats stay tight, our shoulders stay underneath, but you've got good body position. Your shoulders aren't sloppy. It looks like you've got your back packed pretty well. Be patient on the unrack. Up, out, down to your chest line, drive back up towards your face. Your bar path was pretty good here. But sliding out an inch will allow you to fight more towards your face on the heavier reps, so you don't come up underneath that rack. But overall, your bench looks pretty good. Next. Single leg. This is a decent position on stiff leg deadlifts. I believe it was Tish that submitted the earlier video. This is a little bit closer of what I want your position to look like. This is a pretty good stiff leg deadlift. But I don't want to see you loading that back foot quite as much. Remember, it's just kind of like a kickstand to stabilize. We don't really want to load it. We want that stiff leg to be doing most of the work. Keep that foot heavy. But your position overall looked pretty good here. Good job. Next. Noah threw his hat in the ring. This is such a cool gym. I got to train there when I was in Santa Monica. This is a great overhead press. It is by far the lift that comes most naturally to Noah that we're doing. So what you're seeing here is him opening the window, then putting his head through. This is a strict press. He's squeezing his butt, his core's tight. He is actually, for all the tall, lanky guys that think they're not built for pressing or lifting, Noah is an example of that's bullshit, because his overhead technique is really good. Noah, well done. These are progressing effortlessly for you. I want to see it one more time. How is your forearm angle? Is the bar over your forearms in the rack position, or is it behind your forearms in the rack position? You're muted in case you're talking.
No, I was just trying to find the button. Yeah, I'm trying to do that as I sit. I think my forearms are kind of lined up with my wrists because you're wanting me to have my wrists more stacked.
Yeah, so
less like a jerk or whatever.
Yes, strict pressing, we need our power transfer like a bench. We need it right under the bar. Whereas push press, we have it in the front rack position, like a front squat, similar to. Okay, so that's just I wanted to confirm. That's all. Good job, dude.
Yeah, that's what I've been working on. Thanks.
Bang on. These are perfect. Sandra bringing some stovepipes to the gun show too. Arms are jacked. Nice job. Next. Looks like our heels are getting a little bit light here. We're folding a little bit, which is putting that weight closer to the front of our foot versus midfoot and heel. So I want you to really work on tension in that upper back and keeping that chest proud. So squeeze that back together to push that chest out, and that should allow you to stay more to your heels as well, and sitting back. Overall, the squat's not bad. You've got, most of the pieces of the puzzle here where they need to be. So let's focus on that cue. I want to see what this looks like next week. Next. And I don't like seeing people walk backwards into the rack just simply out of the likelihood of missing the J hooks. I've seen people miss that backing up into the rack one too many times.
Oh, Nick, I think I had pretty terrible form on this, but I uploaded it anyway to see if you said the same things I thought.
It's not terrible. Could it be better? 100%, but it's not terrible. So what stands out to me is you see how if you look at the end of the barbell, it has like a wiggle as it goes up. So what that means is your hips are a little bit too low. So as you go to drive, your hips rise, your shins come back. Now the bar's out front. So as soon as it breaks off the ground, that bar actually has to come back towards you.
Great. That actually that's exactly what I saw when I watched this from watching all your videos and these zooms I was like, oh look, it came to me, so it was too far out,
Yes.
and I'm moving. My butt feels like it's too high or too low.
So were you present for the cue I was going over with Benoit, how he's pulling himself into that tension?
I don't think I was for that one.
So
I was
that cat-cow cue that seems to be working for a lot of people.
okay. Yeah,
you know
I
what
can try that.
cat-cow position is?
Yeah, I've picked it up from the different videos because I've watched a lot of them on replay and I've been there for a couple of them.
So I want you to implement that in your setup. I want you to pull yourself in and try and do your cat-cow in the deadlift position. And what you should feel is your hips anterior rotate, and you should feel it pull into your glutes and hamstrings a little bit. So when we get that higher hip position, I'm talking like maybe an inch or two. It's not going to be drastic. But when we pull in our hips to that anterior tilt, which our hips will turn down, so our belly button will push to the floor. So that will be the cow, I guess. I never know.
Yeah.
You should. I don't know who named that shit. I grew up on a cattle farm. That's not how cows work. It should put you into a better position, and that physical cue of feeling that glute and hamstring tension will be a marker for position.
Okay.
Yeah. So you had good intuition, you knew where you're going wrong, and that's a big win from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah, and I wanted to submit one because before I did it with dumbbells. So this one was more like what my normal working weight for 5 reps would be, so.
I want to see your deadlifts next week.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks, dog.
Yep. I think there's one more.
All right. Okay. Incline. That's a nice setup.
I love it.
Those benches, I know that bench wasn't cheap.
It's actually not too bad from rep, but yeah,
they make a solid bench for especially price point.
Yeah, it's their rack and everything too.
Great. You've got leg drive. The bar path is driving back up towards your face. Your incline press looks fantastic.
Okay. Thank you.
Job. Trap bar deaths.
Thought this was flat at first, and he was going to do it behind the back death.
So he was out the bar. So he gravity fixed him. So that first rep, the bar swung forward, which means he was out front of it. So Jimmy, from now on, no more touch and goes because your first rep is your worst rep, which means we need to get our starting position like the rest of the reps. So you simply just pushed a little bit too far forward and you were out front of the bar. And we're going to see it right here. He's going to set up. See how his hands are behind his knees? We want our hands coming up alongside our knees. Watch, bit, bar comes forward. Now he's in position. Gravity fixes us every single time. And now every rep after that, he was closer into position. He still is kind of getting a little bit too far forward because there's a slight bar swing forward. So bring your hips up slightly, just a little bit. That should suck your knees back. Should bring your hands right up alongside your knees. Use that as kind of like the physical marker, and that should fix that for you, man. Again, I'd like to see these next week, see how those look. Overall, solid deadlift, just a subtle cue on setup. Next. You guys made it easy on me this week. Nice. Feet shifting around a little bit. I think you're a little too wide. Our adductors are having to do a lot of work in the hole, which is why I think our feet are sliding around a little bit because you gradually got wider. I think if we narrow you up a little bit, you're going to find a little bit more access to power and letting your quads do what your quads do. But your depth, your rack position from the waist up, you look good. Let's bring in a little bit narrower, maybe at or around shoulder width and build from there. But again, overall, you're doing most of it right. Just streamline it. Get you where your body wants to be. Next. Nice. He gave me the side-by-side. It was very thoughtful, Rob. I appreciate you. Looks good from the back. Robert, you look great from behind. From the side, it also looks awesome. I want to see a little bit more acceleration of the hips. You're moving solid weight. I just want you to keep acceleration in mind. Once it starts moving, speed it up. That's how we ingrain lockout power on, say, our heavier sets, is we speed up after the bar breaks. And you're going to hear me tell, when it comes to rep work, accelerating the deadlift is such an important part. Because when people go to test and PR and get into those heavier sets, that acceleration input becomes very evident. Because even though you're trying to accelerate on a, like, say, max pull, what that'll look like is it doesn't slow down. Next. Good job, Robert. Single arm supported row. So I would kick that, the side you're rowing with, kick that leg back a little bit. So I want you to row more towards your belly button. Your position and everything looks great. Kick that leg back on the same side you're rowing with, so you can have clearance to row towards your belly button. That's the only thing I have for you on these. Your range of motion, everything looks good. But that should allow you to get your bar path a little bit better. Next. Jacob's so deceiving on the Zoom calls because he's like a big dude. That's a good pull. Let me watch it one more time. This backyard setup's so dope. It's just like, it's just moving weight. So hips kicked up slightly. So where your hips ended up before the bar broke, that's where we want to start. And I want you to pull in, bring in that cat-cow cue you keep hearing me give. I want you to pull your belly button to the bar when you pull in tension, when you get your hips into position. So you set up, you see how our whole back's in flexion, and then our hips kick up slightly. And then now we're in a neutral spine at lockout. So we want to try and get into that neutral spine position in the hole a little bit better. So think about snapping the bar and pulling your belly button towards the bar. And you should feel that tension go into the glutes and the hamstrings a little bit. And you'll set yourself up. And what that does is pulling us into position in the hole makes our lockout easier on heavy pulls. Overall, you're moving well. We just need to keep working on your positioning out of the hole. But we're getting there. Good job. Next. That was good. But the second rep, you see how your hips are higher? That's where they want to be, because that's where your leg drive starts. So had this been heavier on that first rep, what we would have saw happen was your hips would have kicked up, then your leg drive would have started. But it's so light, it didn't matter. So here, your position, everything is good. Everything is, I like the tension in your back, everything. But that is our start position. Everything after that first rep, you see how your hips are slightly higher? That's where I want you to set up.
Okay.
Good job,
I
man.
thought I had to go lower. I thought I had to go lower, no?
You might have
Okay.
gotten too low
Ah,
on the first
okay.
rep. So that second
Ah.
rep and every rep after that, gravity put you in position. So bip.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, couldn't load.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's just small adjustments. We kind of just walk it in.
Okay. Okay. No,
Good
I
job.
thought I had to be lower actually, and that's what always was bothering me. I wasn't sure. Okay, all right.
No, that is right where you want to be. That's a good deadlift.
Okay, that was also difficult. I don't know. My back was killing me that day. I did only like the McGill, and with the bird dog, I just felt like like the two muscles between the spine. It was like
Erectors.
hydraulic. Like I don't know what happened. But then it was fine. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you moved well. None of that looked hard. That was speed. That was fast. That looked like no brain weight.
Yeah, no, that was light. I mean, it was like 50 kilos, right? So it was okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Then I'll go tomorrow and do another one.
Weightlifting's in our Greek heritage, man. We got to be good at it. We don't have any choice. We're the OGs.
You got to
This
show
one
him
is the same.
Grizzly Nick, the Greek guy, the big old dude who just pushes the sled
Oh my God.
24/7.
Shit, what is his name? He does
Kyriakos.
Yeah, Kyriakos.
Yeah.
He's like half quarter range of motion lifts with a fuckload of weight, and he just screams and yells. That's like his thing, and it went viral. With him, but
this one I loaded. I think I loaded them like 5 times. No, sorry about that. The other one was the squad. I don't know if we have it
Oh, it's
next
okay.
time.
Yeah. We'll check it out. Looks like, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, this one. This one I know now. One mistake I made. Yeah, but maybe you will spot it immediately, I think. But anyway, I'm not going to tell you. Let's see if we agree to it.
Good unrack, good walkout. A little high.
Yeah.
I think you're a little narrow is the main thing that stands out to me.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
Too
So
narrow.
you're peeling up because I think your width is what's restricting your depth. I don't think if we take you out an inch or two, you'll have any issue getting down there.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's just change that and see how they look.
Yeah. I'm doing tomorrow. I'm gonna go tomorrow and then. But it's exactly it was from the previous gentleman that you mentioned, that he was narrow, and then immediately clicked for me as well. I said, yeah, that's the issue. I couldn't figure it out, but now, okay. Thank you so much, Caristo.
That's no simple fix. Good job.
All right. That's the end of the form checks. Does anybody have follow-ups to the form check videos before we log off?
So any questions,
I have
concerns?
one quick question. Sorry, I can't find the hand raise button, but it was so I see on some of them where they have like a 30-second rest, but then you're doing, say, I mean, I've seen it before. It was like the busy parent workout. You have like 12 sets of deadlifts at 3 reps, and it has like 30-second rest. I'm just wondering, like, should you really be trying to get close to failure on the first, through 5 sets? Because, if I'm putting 405 on the bar, I don't think I'm going to make it to 12 sets with only 30 seconds.
The weight selection for the number of sets, right? So
Okay.
like I do a lot of what's called every minute on the minute for gas tank and conditioning work. So I know if I have a 10-minute EMOM, so I finish, say I have 3 reps every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. I get through the reps, I have the remainder of that minute to rest. I know, depending on my weight selection, if I'm at 3 or 4 and I'm going, uh-oh, I got a little ambitious.
Yeah.
If I'm at 5, 6, or 7, I'm going, ooh, okay, like I'm in it. I know I only got 3 or 4 left. I can get through. I was right on the money. Or if I'm at like 8 and I'm just starting to kind of like get a work in, I know I was under the bar. I rarely have that problem. I would say 60% of the time I'm going, oh shit, by set 4, and I have to peel off 5-10 pounds just because that's my nature. And then the other 40% of the time I'm like, yeah, I nailed it. I'm always super proud when I nail it because I'm doing this for 10 years and I still, just my personality, I get too damn ambitious.
I've done the same thing all the time with shoulder press for imams.
So you want to make that weight selection according to the number of sets, right? So I know if I'm doing 36 reps, right? Think about it like that. I got 36 reps. Can I look at 4 or 5 and think I can do it 36 times? Kind of use that as like a guide, because 30 seconds rest isn't a lot of time. When you're working for 30 seconds, you're like, shit, this is an eternity. When you're resting for 30 seconds, you're like, damn, I blinked and it's gone.
Yeah.
So I would say I do stuff off effort and percentage is how my brain works. So if your max is, say, what's your max deadlift, if you had to guess?
Like 525, 550.
Okay, so I would probably shoot in the range of 50 to 60%.
Okay.
Maybe because there's 30 seconds of rest, you might be able to get away with like 65 to 70 and really be working. But you're definitely no shot getting over 70 without getting your ass kicked.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's what I assumed, but I wanted to hear it.
Yep. Good job. All good. Is that it? Anybody else?
Sorry, I just had a similar question. So it's where you get a body weight exercise in the program. So last night I was doing calf raises and it said 12 body weight, and I can do that easily. Should I switch to single leg? Should I try to just go through to failure, or should I stick to the plan?
Again, it's another way. How can we make that 12 reps work for the plan? We can switch to single leg. We can add tempo. So you go up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's going to make 12 reps significantly harder. If that's all still too easy, just add weight. Just add weight. No worries.
Cool. Sorry, I missed my form check earlier, but I will watch the recording back.
Okay. Yep, I got you. You were in there.
Cool. Thanks, Nick.
Of course. Any more before we get off here? Because I'm about to go train myself. I am 3.5 weeks out from World's Strongest Man. So you guys will probably get another mid-weight cut. If you guys missed it leading into America's Strongest Man, I was literally in between sauna sessions doing the tail end of my water cut. My eyes were sunken in my head. I couldn't do math. I was about 3 hours deep into sauna work and I was hurting. But so for those of you who missed that, you'll have that entertainment in a few weeks, most likely. But keep them coming. I know we've been doing them steady at this time. I think we want to kind of give access to all the demographics for live coaching. The luxury of when Jen and I do them in the same week is we can kind of hit 2 different times. Noah, you might be able to give in some insight there on time selections.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're just trying different times, and I think that it's worked for the different time zones, but I wish there was more of a rhyme or reason than just being like, hey, you want to do it this time this week? Okay, sounds good. So
pretty much
nothing scientific.
Yeah, but this timing is nice, I think, yeah? Because this time now it's really good, at least for the European time, because now for me it's like 6 in the afternoon, and it suits very nicely. So thanks a lot. I mean, it's
cool.
It's really
good to know.
I appreciate, of course, all the tips. I mean, it's amazing.
I love. Thank you guys so much for showing up. This is I hate writing programs. Like if you read my write up into this, I hate writing programs. It's my least favorite thing about coaching. This is where this is the part I like. So, keep them coming. Because I love seeing the progress, seeing the familiar faces, seeing the new faces, and seeing everyone's transform, whether it's, Bulgarian split squats or it's a deadlift, squat, bench, overhead. And now we have people doing some strongman movements in here. It makes my heart happy. So keep them coming.
I have a
If you
question.
guys keep showing up. Yeah.
I have a question, just out of curiosity, because what I noticed is that in the videos, basically you pick up immediately in 5 seconds, 10, the feedback. My question is, how did you learn all these things, and for how long you've been, doing this, because it's just out of curiosity. I don't want to go into personal things.
Well, I think it's a couple reasons. One, you probably guys noticed I'm an ADHD spaz. I'm 100 mile an hour. So I actually had a late adult diagnosis of level 1 autism. So what we found is that I do really well with pattern recognition. So I've been moving. I learned to ski at 2 years old. I played lacrosse, ice hockey. I done action sports from skateboarding, snowboarding, motocross, all the way up to racing like road course. I have a 1300cc super bike that I like to put my knee on the ground in a full leather suit at 150 plus mile an hour. And now strongman. I fought competitively on the All Army MMA team. I have I'm 32 years old. I've spent 30 years moving. I got into coaching. I got out of the military. I was a door gunner in Blackhawks helicopters. I got out of the military. Was in flight school. Well, the private gym I was training at, they wanted me to coach because I would help out the people that I was training with. And I'm not a learn through books guy. So I've got more reps probably watching people and coaching than I've done myself because of, 5 people do more reps than 1 person. So between my background in learning adaptive athletes, cerebral palsy, neuromuscular arthritis, and these movement patterns and understanding how they move and the differentiators between how the average person moves and understanding and accepting that everyone's going to move different. Because I've seen it coached in a way, this is how you have to do it. This is how it has to be done. And simple progress of watching the injury rates and seeing, like CrossFit, they do things a certain way, but it's for time. It's no coincidence that there's a high injury rate because as you get tired, you get more fatigue. So you lose optimization. Why I can just pick up on that is an accumulation of all those underlying things and experiences and my ability to hyper focus and recognize patterns. And knowing what is common. Because I guess watching you squat, it was kind of what stood out isn't what I saw wrong. I knew immediately how many things were going right. So then my brain moves really fast to the point where I have probably 12 conversations going in my head at all times. Like there's no silence in my day in my head at any given point. So when I'm coaching, it allows me to hyper focus, and those 12 conversations are your movement patterns. So it's like bar position, chest position, back position, hips, feet, boom, 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 boom. There it is, right? So once I saw you were shallow and nothing else was wrong, I was like, I don't see a hip issue. I don't see an ankle issue. It's got to be his width. So it's just kind of a natural process of elimination for me. And being neurospicy, if you will, helps me with that assessment. I don't really know how I got here. Kind of happened by accident, but I love it. I enjoy it, and catching Adam gave me the opportunity to do this my way. So they kind of just turned me loose, which, knowing me, that's a gamble for anyone. Because as you guys notice, you don't really know what's going to come out of my mouth, and neither do I. So it's just thousands and thousands of reps and watching patterns and understanding biomechanics. Like my coach, when they learn me, when there's a new strongman event, instead of trying to coach me into it, at this point, he knows to go, hey, go play with this for an hour, because your body will figure it out better than I can coach you to do it. And then we'll fine tune it once my body's figured out how to get it to at least a close to optimal level. And then we tweak and fine tune. So just not even from a scientific level. I can't name every muscle in the body. I'm not severely book educated. I took the same way I took to this coaching. I almost failed my written and oral flight exam, but when my flight instructor put me in the helicopter, I landed a slope landing in a 19-knot crosswind first try because now movement's involved. I don't know. I got a kink for movement, if you will. I don't know how else to
No,
my brain just thinks in movement.
yeah, I can relate because I have the same. Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot from my side. At least I want to thank you because it's really nice. You know, like my wife is complaining. You know, what are you? What time are you spending so much time on these Zooms? I said, yeah, you know, I have the world's strongest man. You know, as my coach. You know, I have to do it. And she looks at me and she thinks I'm kidding her. She doesn't know. You know, or I tell my friends at work and everything, and they just look at me. They're like, you know. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Well,
Two thumbs up.
you can pay me by if you ever come to a pump club meetup, I want some real Greek baklava or some panakopita.
That would be a pleasure. I have some. Yeah. No, you have to come to TAL next year. You know, because I doubt if I come to to the US, but in TAL, you know, you definitely need to show up.
All right, you guys.
Thank you.
I got to get moving. I got to go train. Noah probably has to go do something semi-important.
Thank you.
Bye,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Thanks,
Bye.
Noah.